Alright guys, I'm excited for this one. Today's video is number 2 in my great hair products segment that I started. My first one was with Third & Co. If you missed that one, it is here for your eyeballs to click on and watch. When your fingers click on it, your eyeballs watch it. Today is all about a fairly unique clay. This one right here, known as Arcadian Clay Pomade. A very unique, interesting, good product in my opinion. I'm getting excited about clays. I've been trying different ones because the Cavalier Clay, the BluMaan and Cameron project that we've been working on together, the launch is going to be announced pretty soon. That's all I'm saying for now. That's more on the traditional side of clays. It's more of a heavy clay, so it's a heavy hold, especially good for people with thick hair and hair that's hard to control. So that is the traditional kind of clay that we're coming out with in this collaborative sense. Today though, I have a clay that is very different from what I just described. This is a very light, creamy, almost wet at first. It is a matte product, but almost has a wet feeling at first. But considering how light it is, it does give a really good hold. It's one of my favorite clays. It's what I have in my hair right now. So Arcadian Clay is another clay from a brewer who brews at home. First thing to clarify is that the homebrew market targets a lot of people who use pomades now, and that's the main reason why I think this is called a clay pomade. It has the word pomade, however, it is not shiny, it's not a slick product, as you can see right here. So in terms of size, if you pick up one of these guys, you're gonna be getting 4 ounces of product for this price right here. 4 ounce is a very decent size. So let's get into the breakdown, how it scoops out, how it rubs down, how it feels, how it works in your hair. The scent, all of that good stuff. Now the first thing that really caught my eye is how shiny it looks in the jar. When you take a look at the product itself, it gives off the shine and it looks wet, like there's a very thin layer of like moisture or water, you know, it looks shiny. And before I had ever tried this, I was convinced that this was going to be a shiny product. I was like, look at all of that shine. This shine is going to translate into shine in my hair. It doesn't though, which is interesting. Scooping it out, ridiculous. It is so easy to scoop out and it feels really nice while you're doing it. Best way to describe it, if you've ever had Nutella, and if you haven't, you're probably not a real human. But if you've ever had Nutella, you scoop that out with a knife. It's that same smooth, seamless action that's happening with your finger in this product right here. The breakdown on your hands is just as smooth and creamy. It breaks down effortlessly, rubs through your hands, and it stays moist as well, so it doesn't dry up on your hand. And that means that it's easy to apply to your hair, because since the product hasn't dried up and it retains that moisture, it glides through your hair fairly effortlessly, especially for a clay product. But now this is where things get a little bit interesting. The scoop out, effortless. The breakdown, effortless. However, because it's such a creamy and moist product at first, that might translate into a little bit of shine in your hair for like up to like 10 minutes, I've experienced. Now this does have its benefits, and it also has what some might consider its negatives. The benefits of this is that it stays really pliable, so you can definitely work it in your hair 100% without worrying about the product drying up. It's easy to put in and restyle like for as long as you could possibly need. But because of that, since the moisture lasts for such a long time, the product after initial application doesn't actually have as much hold as it does roughly 10 minutes later. And 10 minutes is quite, you know, a long time. I've never experienced a product to change so much between application and then 10 minutes later. Now, in terms of how long the product will last, how long will the product keep your hair up? There's a number of factors that come into play. Actually, there's not a number of factors, there's one main factor. The more product that you apply to your hair, the longer it lasts. Now I know that seems maybe a little bit like common sense, but with some products, if you apply too much, then it gets heavy and it weighs your hair down, and your hair ends up flopping earlier in the day than it otherwise would have. With Arcadian though, because it's such a creamy, Nutella-like product, the more product that I apply, the stronger the hold I get. It doesn't feel like I'm applying more and more product. It feels like I'm adding more and more strength to last throughout the day. And with that being said, it is kind of good that you have 4 ounces, because I definitely use a lot more of this clay than I do most other clays that I've tried in the past. But you can see that texture doesn't mess. It does have really good texture for how light of a product this is. Now, in terms of the scent is probably this product's most controversial element. I will say I do like the scent, but regardless of whether or not I like it or I don't like it, it is a very strong scent. And if you use a lot, that becomes a little bit overpowering, especially for like the first hour that it's in your hair. It's a product where if you normally wear like a cologne, something to make you smell nice, adding this on top of that can start to really emphasize scent coming out from your body. I don't mind it. I've seen other people say that they really don't like it. I've seen other people say that they really do like it. And this is on the BluMaan community group on Facebook, by the way. A hair passionate community that you should be a part of if you're not. Link in the description if you want some hair advice or show off your hairstyles or whatever. Lots of friendly people. Go check it out. So at the end of the day, I'll say this. Up until now, with every clay that I've tried in the past, I always revert back to traditional heavy clays. And that's a big reason why traditional heavy clay is coming out in the BluMaan line. That said, I feel like this is the first lighter, creamier clay that I can use and know that my hairstyle will also last all day as much as a traditional clay can, or at least almost as much. Again, that has to do with the fact that I can apply more and more to get more strength, and that's why I feel like that. Well, I think I've said enough about all of this stuff. You can check out Arcadian's products, including the clay and all of their other stuff, in the description down below. Thank you guys for watching. Hope that you've been enlightened, filled with some knowledge, and I'll see everybody next time.